flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, good morning, everybody. Let's call the meeting to order for the Monday, December 16th, 9:30 a.m. We'll ask the Secretary Treasurer to do the roll call, please.
Scott Horowitz.
I'm here.
Ed Warner here. Chip Marin.
Here.
Joe McLaughlin, he's absent, and Matt Parsons. Present. Have a quorum.
All right, thank you, sir. Thank you. All right, welcome, everybody. Nice to see you. Let's jump in. We have general permit applications for determination. First one I have is Lucas Torres, Lower Bowden First Modification of 53 Grant. Anybody here representing this? Hey, Jess.
Hi.
That's okay.
This is a very simple modification. You guys had already issued a permit for this. Let me just get it up here so I can explain it. Basically, it was an as-built that you guys have approved. However, the original application page that was submitted only said 2 pilings for the floating dock, and on the plans they had 4 pilings. So basically, a scrivener's error by them.
Yeah.
So they're just looking for the 4 piles to be approved.
Yeah, looking at the plan, I'm fine with that, so I think it should advance. Okay?
Good.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so Secretary Treasurer Warner, you have Barrow Place Partners.
LLC, 12 Barrel Place, Shinnecock Hills. The consultant is Shoreline Bulkheading. I don't see anybody here to representing.
She's out sick. She emailed us.
So
She wants it held to the next one.
She wants it held?
That's fine.
Okay,
'Cause I know
that's
there's
on
some
hold.
questions that we had. So
Trustee Marin,
658 Flying Point Road.
that's for Surfside Environmental Planning. Hello there.
Morning. How are you guys?
Good.
Well,
Okay, so this one, this is a pretty large shoreline along Burnett Creek in Watermill. There's a larger project on this property where they're gonna demolish the existing house and build a new one. The Conservation Board has seen this a couple of times, and they have a required naturally vegetated wetlands non-disturbance non-fertilization buffer. They have allowed them one pathway to the west side of the property. So we are proposing a dock coming right from that pathway into the creek.
sorry. It's a little excessive.
The dock?
Yeah.
It's an L dock?
Yeah, it's an
No,
L-shaped
but
dock.
I mean, it's like, I don't know, have you been to Burnett Creek?
Yeah, you've
Yeah.
seen what's across the way from here?
No, but the dock is like,
So where's that end of the L relative to the
I mean,
extended property line?
the appreciable water depth is right to the shoreline there.
It's basically it's 50 feet from high water to the end of our
So-
dock.
Well,
Where's appreciable water depth? Can you show me,
right
James?
at the shoreline.
2.5 feet is right
So
here.
why are we going so far?
yeah, there's no
Because
reason.
it's Mecox and that fluctuates often. So we're trying to get it into a spot that it will be where it needs
So
to be.
where's the
all
end of
the
that
time.
L relative to the extended property line? that what the extended property line is? Right there? Where's that? What's that
The end of
dimension?
the L is 50 feet from mean high water, which is what's required in this area.
What's
Well,
that?
you're at it,
It's
3.9.
60
I don't
feet.
know that distance. It looks like it's very close to that.
Right, so when you-
extended property line.
Right, when you
Yeah.
send that out, that looks like it's really close. Can you zoom on that, or?
Only if you bring it back to shore, it'll be.
So what's that dimension there? Can you tell me
For-
that?
What are you looking for?
Sure.
Like
Can
if
I
you
see-
extend
can I see
that
the,
line to the end of that L, like what's the dimension from that line to that extended line?
Well, that line is not the property line.
It's not, what is that
That
line?
line is an easement line
Okay.
from a long time ago. This property is huge,
Okay, so it goes a lot further than
and
that.
a large portion of it.
So that's
is
a deceiving
preserved.
Is
line.
that
is what it is.
easement still existing?
Yes, it's an existing easement that is now also part of a covenanted buffer zone. These two, I don't know what we'll call
So
them,
that's not an issue.
peninsulas, are part of an easement on the property from, I think, the 80s or the 90s, early 90s.
So this is Buddy's old house then.
This is Ed Burnett's old house.
Well, Buddy, yeah, his father. Okay, he
Um,
built it. I cleared that land.
So, yeah, his father built the house, and I worked for Ed to get permits to redo the house. He sold the property. My new client owns it now, and he wants to actually do the project. The Conservation Board has taken the majority of the property into a vegetated buffer, and he at one point had the ability for 2 access points, one into the little cove here. But Marty
Well, what
should
about
get that
what
taken
about
care
the
of.
old dock
This
where
could
the
go back.
original dock
Yeah.
was for
It's not there.
Buddy's
It's
first
And you're not gonna,
house?
what's
Is that
point
still
eight,
there?
point six? It's like,
Yeah,
The
over
original
this one.
dock that was there. What?
it should be
No.
right, should be right 3.4.
Over down right off the road.
3.4,
Right off
because
the
then you got
road?
the deep here and you
Yeah,
got the deep
there,
here. and
there
it'd be
used to be a
consistent.
dock one over, like
Yeah,
in
you're
between.
talking about
Next
Yeah.
to that dock, there used to be another dock
I mean,
right there,
3.2
right
is
where your
30
cursor
inches,
is.
so
That's not part of the
3.4,
property.
and it's
Okay.
What's
right
this
there.
one up here though?
At
'Cause
3.4.
I don't
It
know.
looks like it's on the property.
I know that the trustees actually had an access through this property, and that's what that road is. I think that dock belongs to you guys.
Yeah, I know that's
That's the
that's
old
a
inlet.
historic site for fishing for a lot of people that use that creek right where you're putting the dock.
If you pulled it back to like 25 feet, you're still at 3.2, right?
Well, this is when the bay is full.
Yeah,
So
but still the
that's
0.2 versus the 0.8, it's not a.
concern. You know, if you're gonna invest in putting a boat here, you wanna make sure you have water, and we're
Well,
within-
that's not where your hang up is. The hang up is where you go in and out of the creek anyway.
Yeah, the channel.
So it's kind
yeah.
of a mute point
you're
of how
gonna-
long your dock is.
Yeah, I still think.
You can't get out of the creek. I mean, what are they going to put a boat in there and then be like, oh, well, we got the water depth, but we can't get out of the creek anyway. So I think you're real the length of the dock for that body of water and every other dock that's in that creek
Well,
is
look at those docks over there.
they're
Those are
all set way back.
Those are not way back. Those are 50, 60 feet long. Those are
Out in
actually-
the main bay, not in a creek.
Yeah, but guys,
There's not one dock in that whole Burnett's Creek that goes more than 10 foot off the shore.
You're gonna put a real small boat in there anyway, right?
Well,
I
they
have no idea.
they
You
don't
have to.
realize
Yeah,
that they
you
are
have
going to put a really small boat
That's
in
what
there.
they're
But
gonna
I'll
do.
tell you flat out, you're going to put a really small boat
Yeah.
in there because you can't make it out the creek anyway.
It wouldn't make sense to put anything.
You
other
could
than-
have all the water you want right under the dock, but it doesn't matter because there's 2 points right there where the old channel that no good when the bay's low and forget it going out. The only blessing they may have is that guy that has that big house
Who's got all
Yeah,
those
dredged
little-
his
that
own
has an
channel.
illegal- has a legal dock. That's
has
all.
an illegal dock and he dredges his own channel.
Yeah.
So
We'll have to deal with that.
I think
That's next on the
yeah.
agenda.
So, you know,
Illegal dock,
Yeah.
next on the agenda.
this is what this house is staring at, is that marina, let's call it,
Yeah.
on that property, saying,
Compound.
well, all I want is a dock that I can keep a
Yeah, but-
boat at.
Well, you can get a dock that you can keep a boat at.
Why are they putting it on that side? Out of curiosity, why aren't they running it off the other side
Which other side?
of the peninsula?
Because I think the water is shallower in there. I
Well,
think-
aren't you trying to come off the walkway that you already have approved by the con board?
So basically, that's been an opening on the property for a long time, and then right in that, they had a mooring in that little cove area for a long time. as far as I know. So I don't know that putting a dock there is, I don't know.
It's excessive.
Yeah,
I love this one. I mean,
Yeah, look at that dock.
Yeah, every dock in that creek is close, and that's right in a set for fishing.
Yeah.
Like, all the time. We've used that traditionally. So I would say that the length of the dock
I mean, if you clipped
for
it 25,
appreciate.
you still got 3.2, right? 3.2 to 3.4.
Yeah.
Well, if we cut it in half,
You're like 3.4.
what is my scale? Hold on.
You still have good water.
So the end of the dock right now to the high water mark is at exactly 50 feet. So if we cut that in half,
Still at like 3.4.
3-4.
3.2.
3.2 to 3.4.
Any concern with that top line that's there?
Right. So 3.2 to
That's no longer
3.4.
there.
I got
So
the-
3.2 to 3.4. I think for the type of boat that you're gonna
Yeah.
realistically enjoy in this water body, I think it's more than adequate. I think it answers to the issues. The client gets the dock. It just, I think it makes perfect sense.
Plus our rules and regulations dictates the water depth.
Appreciable water depth.
Yeah, the rules and
But I think-
regulations, it doesn't even need to be 25 foot. It could be
No.
right on the shore.
I think
Yeah.
at 25, I think
So,
that you
I mean,
are
Even that is pushing.
is I think it's very generous, and I think that for the type,
Is it going to be a fixed pier or is it going to be a removable dock?
It's a fixed pier.
Yeah, I'm not really in favor for that site. I'm not in favor at all. It's got to be a removable floating dock. Period.
Yeah,
Full
because
stop.
if you're gonna have to haul sand in
Yeah,
there,
if we
it's-
staying in there, that's right in the set, right? And there's no way to work around that when it's a fixed dock.
No.
I think even a 25-foot dock's excessive for that creek, but especially because it's deep water right to the beach. That's why.
Well, the concern is that when these soundings were taken, the bay was really full. So these are not necessarily
right.
100% accurate on average.
Well,
let's
that's
say.
why when I look at it, just from a common sense perspective, even cutting it in half, you're still at, that being said, with the type of boat, that you would own and want to realistically operate in this locality,
Yeah.
that's more than ample water. If you're going to get anything bigger than that, it's going to be more of a liability than it is
No,
an
it's not-
asset.
it's
So
not-
Yeah, the entrance
it's not
and-
going to work.
The entrance and exit is shallower than
Right.
the dock.
I think that, and the purchase has to really take into consideration suitability of where that vessel is going to be utilized. So when you factor in everything that's being said relative to the commercial fishing aspect of it, to the regulations, to the practicality of the navigability, I think you're doing good with, I don't know, what do you think? No?
It's not up to me, it's up to my client. So
No, I
all
get
I
it.
can do is take your feedback and bring
Right.
it
Yeah.
back to my client and ask if it's something that they would like to.
Because your 0.4 versus 0.8, you know what I mean? It's sort of 0.2, you're talking about splitting hairs.
Couple
And
inches.
you're gonna be churning bottom and bending propellers and whatever. Maybe you gotta get a jet powered thing. I don't know, whatever.
So
So
I can.
Or going
certainly-
off the other side, quite frankly, because then that's one entrance that they actually don't have to deal with.
so you're trying to come off of the conservation board approved walkway.
So the
No, because of
conservation
that, yeah.
board did a number of years ago give them the ability to have two accesses, which I fought for Ed Burnett, the former owner of the property, and I got because my argument to the conservation board was, look at the amount of shoreline here. You can't deny access and give them one tiny little point of
Right.
access. So what happened was, when the property sold, the new owner, who I'm now also working for, modified his application and went back to the conservation board, and Marty Shea pushed real hard to get that second access removed. I was not involved in that, so they were defeated and now only have this one access point.
Right. So you're trying to work with that. You're doing
Yes.
what you have, and so you got a lot of buffer there, and they did give you that. So we're trying to work with you here with something that's reasonable, suitable, that would actually make sense for your client to actually enjoy. And I think it's generous, to your point, based on the fact that it was done at a high bay, right? We do know
Sure.
fluctuation there, so we get that. So, and again, there's obviously give back from the baymen here as well if they're utilizing that area for, you know, for netting and whatnot, you're clipping it back. So we recognize your client's, you know, desire to wharf out. I think there's been a reasonable
So if I
proposition
can
put on the
go
table
back
here.
to my client and say that you guys are looking for it to be cut in half and,
with good rationale.
Sure. Give him-
And put a float on it. A
Well, yeah, we
removable,
have
a
to,
seasonal-
we as board also have to discuss whether we want a fixed dock there.
I mean, would a float be, based on the fact of what it is that your client's trying to get, would a float be easier for them to utilize? If they're gonna get a small boat, no?
I don't know.
Okay, so,
I think all the other docks are all fixed,
Fixed.
aren't they? So isn't that what you,
I mean, the other dock
He's
that I
talking
just
about-
inspected, the other dock that I inspected up north of that, no, farther, right there, that was the most recent dock that was approved by the trustees that I went and inspected. So, I mean, if we go off something similar to that, I can understand it.
and that's a float.
Well, it's affixed to a ramp to a float, correct?
That's what we're asking.
And honestly, if they actually are gonna use a boat, which I'm kind of,
it's easier.
it's in this bay with the variant of the, you want a float.
Sure.
You don't want to be, it's a good way to sink a boat.
It's just easier to get on and off the boat.
If you don't use a float.
Okay.
They're gonna have to remove this float, right?
Is that them?
I don't
It's
think
their
it's,
property.
I don't think it's theirs. Honestly, I believe that belongs to you guys. From
Alright, so
my understanding.
James, can we do a little research on this?
She's right on this one. I do remember that, and we can look into that because that was,
I think
that
there
was-
might even
you-
have something.
that
in
had
writing
something to
about
do
that.
with the blind and the saddler and the leaving a boat there for the trust. I do remember that
It's a
old.
Ed Burnett told me the whole story. This
Yeah.
is like 6,
And we
7
can
years ago he told me about that.
we can out of in outside of public forum we can discuss that. And I think you're right on that one.
Yeah, but the reason for that choice of location for that dock is where the old channel used to be dredged through there.
Yeah, because I can remember Eddie's buddy
Yeah.
saying, "Oh, I'm a proprietor trustee,"
Yeah.
and he'd be there with a backhoe
Yeah.
making the channel
Yeah,
good.
that's where the channel used to be
Yeah,
before it
so
broke
that
through into
that was the
north,
original channel, right there.
So,
in the deepest water.
Then yeah, but that's because Buddy would use a backhoe to open it up every year.
Mhm.
So I believe it should be a floater. I definitely don't think it should be 50 feet. And take it from there.
I think you have some good talking points to go back to your client, right?
Got it. Okay. I will go have that discussion and,
You have another
You have anything else on?
nope, this is it.
That's it?
All right.
I have to say you guys have been quite brisk in return of review.
So it works for
I'm
you.
happy.
Works for you, right?
Because
Happy-
can't say that about a lot of other places.
Happy holidays.
Thank you.
That's your
Yeah.
Christmas present.
Happy holidays.
Enjoy.
Eva Shea,
All
Family
right.
Trust, First Coastal.
On time today, Mr. Billy Mack. Oh, how are you?
Good. Morning, Billy.
Ducky.
Found a parking spot out in the.
I have circled around a couple times. Never found one. I think I made one. Everybody doing great. Looking forward to the holidays. Indeed.
Ready to go.
This is Surfside Drive. This is the second to last house on the eastern side of Surfside Drive. It's a dune restoration project that we've done a couple times. Just looking to essentially renew that in time to restore the dune for this spring.
You're also modifying, correct, to add a staircase?
Yes, exactly. Adding a staircase / walkway. There's been one there on and off that it's a tough property. It's gotten exposed a couple of times, and the owners have restored the dune on a semi-regular basis.
This
So-
is the one down near the cut sag.
Sag cut. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
the second to last before.
That's the one that
sag
you
cut.
just got hammered as soon. Yeah, that's brutal. Is that? Are you gonna try and wait this out until the sand's
Last minute.
pumped?
Well, the sand is being pumped, just quick update on that. Mobilizing now the equipment, and they're expected to start sometime in January, finish up at the end of February with the beach replenishment project.
That place is just getting hammered. And
This
I've
will
been
help
even trying to
tremendously.
keep the cut from going that way as much as I can, and with more and more success.
Yeah, and
but
that little buffer that you created too.
yeah,
the
and I
sand
tried
pile,
to
that helped.
to try and keep that from getting wet, but that's just getting hammered there. I don't.
Yeah, I mean the last couple of years have not been great for that property because this is the tail end of the beach replenishment program.
Yeah.
So now this beach replenishment that will happen this season will go a long way.
And the beach has been gaining really well lately.
So
yeah.
far so good. Yeah. So I think going forward for the next decade or so, it'll be fine.
Are they going to try and put more fencing than just the one row in there, or are they just going
Well,
to put them on
they
one?
start with one row typically, and when that gets about 50%, they'll add another.
Yeah, if it builds up.
Are you going to make that removable, the stairs?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Any stairs we do are removable.
Good.
What handrails do you have on that? Because I know you had issues with the cable.
Yeah, there's not cable or anything.
It's not cable. No, but there is a handrail. The owner's getting up there and definitely needs.
I'm fine with a handrail as long as it's not stainless.
Yeah, no, they're just simple wood.
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
It's consistent to what we had in the past.
Advance it. You have another one on?
I do.
We just need stamp plan for that.
Yes, thank you. Next one is Gannett Creek, North Haven. That is modification. On this is a dredging in Gannett Creek. I don't know if you guys are
It's for the
familiar.
village.
It's for the village.
Right, so we're gonna waive the fees on this for the village.
Okay.
You're just bumping it an extra 6 inches, correct?
Yeah, what we're doing is not only the maintenance dredging in the channel, but we're actually placing the sand on the western beach, which is eroding significantly. That's actually where the sand's coming from anyway.
Yeah.
So it's a good cycle program.
And this is an expedited path for the village.
Thank you.
And they can take repair the bulkhead.
Yes.
where
Yeah,
the
bulkhead's
sand
done.
comes in,
Yeah.
So it's a good project.
I think we're good.
Yeah, that's
What do
it.
you think, Jim?
Yeah, send it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Appreciate it
Put a
very much, you
resolution
guys.
on quickly for that, for the village.
This
We'll-
board has been working on this the whole time I've been on the board.
Forever.
Yeah, we'll waive the fees too.
And then
for the village.
No, that's
Yeah.
finally the bulkhead got fixed.
That was a sticking point.
That was the big problem.
That's all you have, right? Yeah,
That's it.
you're done. You can get right back out there on that roadway, buddy.
That's it. I'll hang out here. I like this place.
You like this
spot can turn
place.
back into lawn now.
Yeah,
All right.
64 Holly Lane.
Peconic Environmental
Environmental.
Associates. That's not you.
The project includes removal of the existing dock construction of a new 3x3 ramp to a 3x3 fixed landing, a 3x15 ramp to a 6x16-foot floating dock secured by 2 8-inch piles, all decking to remain 60% permeable and all timber to be untreated. So it's an in-kind replacement of the existing dock that's there right now. Here's some pictures of it. The side profile.
Was this in Brennick's Cove down there, creek down there?
No, this is on the other side of Cobb Isle.
Okay, north of it?
Yeah,
Yes.
it'd be on the other side of the
Yep.
peninsula.
That's good, yeah.
It's that's all the docks are basically the same size in that creek.
Yeah, tell them to get rid of the grass behind the dock.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
this. That's got to go.
The entranceway.
Yeah, tell them it's all a nice buffer. Why do they have grass with
That
it?
has to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That makes no sense.
So, do we make that contingent on accepting the permit, or how do we do
Well, Well, it should have a
that?
natural.
Or just a recommendation to the?
Well, a term in a condition, it should be as a special condition to the project that it has to be in the buffer,
Upland has to be conformed to the
Blue Book.
Yeah.
It's not out of spec with the Blue Book. You can't have fertilized grass right up to the water
But
like
there's
that.
buffers all around, all
So-
the places it's not buffered
Yeah.
is where
That's
the
a s-
walkway.
That's a standard common sense condition that we have.
We can, all right, cool, thank you. We will email them what we came up with and go from there.
That's it.
We
There's
need
no,
stamp plans anyways.
right, and it's
And
gotta,
then need stamp.
right, and those stamp plans gotta show the omission of the fertilized lawn.
Grass.
That's totally in violation of the Blue Book.
Yep.
Okay. Then we have Trustee Parsons, correct?
Yes, 551, is that Main Street in Queog?
Land use.
Yes.
How are you?
Hey, good morning. So this is a proposed dock. Through the wetlands to a bulkhead, and we just got a ramp and a float. The fixed portion of the dock is 232 fixed open grate decking. And stairs to access it, and there's gonna be a 4-foot wide path going through the upper area. Long stretch there to get to the water. But then we just have a ramp and a float into the water at the site.
One thing I don't see, I saw the side view of the dock and the ramp. I don't see an overhead view. I have this sheet here with the soundings, but I don't have anything like this that has the soundings with the actual proposed dock on it.
Should be the
Yes,
second sheet.
it's this. If you have this, it's like an aerial overlay.
I don't think I have this. Oh, I see it. Okay, yeah. It's got the
You
depths
got
on
aggregate
it.
water depths next to the
Mhm.
bulkhead, but then it gets shallow again.
Okay.
Where the float is.
3.1.
Do we have a distance to this property line? You know what that is?
It's more than 20 feet because you can see the float's 20 feet long. And we chose this area because it seemed like it was the shortest distance across the wetlands.
Yeah, the bulkhead's in good shape. Now, how much of this area is our jurisdiction? Because when I was there on Friday, like there's vegetation there, but it was big puddles. The whole thing is just
Wet.
wet.
Yeah. You had to put on boots to get through there. The day I was there, it was pretty deep. Actually.
Right.
Like a foot.
Is it? It's just a freshwater wetland, right?
No, it's not fresh. It's tidal.
Oh, it's tidal because is it a low sill bulkhead or how's it getting?
No, it's getting in from the, I guess, from the north.
It looks like
There was
everything's
definitely
bulkhead
tidal.
over there.
The wetland, the vegetation there was definitely tidal.
It looks like it's all other than this over here, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh.
The neighbors got the same situation going on.
It floods on.
I mean, it could
Cars.
also be just groundwater being pushed out.
I
Yeah.
don't think that was the case. It could be, but it looked to me like it was saltwater influenced. I believe it's correct what James is saying from the north there, because the neighbor property to the north is the same exact situation.
Is there a mean high water on this at all up here, or is it just wetland flag?
Just wetland flagged.
So mean high water.
Is there a
delineated
bulkhead in front of it?
Down here,
Yes.
the bulkhead.
Yeah, it would be the bulkhead would determine the mean high water.
But he's saying that this is tidal.
It's coming,
Wouldn't the mean high water be where?
it's getting beyond the bulkhead.
Yeah, but this is a.
It's a weird situation.
So are there other pictures? I think, I don't know. Because it gets a little higher when you get to the bulkhead, when you get back.
Yeah, that's the only place you can walk is over by the bulkhead.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can see there's the standing water.
Yeah. And it wasn't, it wasn't high tide. It's wet up there. When I was there, water gets up there, I guess, and
Floods.
just
Stays
yeah.
there, yeah.
Are there any mosquito ditches that they made through there or something? No.
No.
What? I mean, why are we questioning that? It's connected to a bulkhead, correct?
Yes,
Yeah.
it's connected to the
Yeah,
bulkhead.
so it's
Just-
in our jurisdiction
Mhm.
anyway.
Yeah.
Once it's connected to a bulkhead.
So what is it that you want to do, Matt?
I mean, the only other thing would be just to send an advisory letter to the conservation board because it is.
Is
if
it the
it's in their
village?
jurisdiction.
Is it the village? What's
Queog?
Queog.
No,
Yeah.
it's the town.
Right.
Just making sure, yeah.
Yes.
I would send an advisory letter to Marty, to the Conservation Board.
Request an advisory letter from them.
Yeah, that way it would clarify what their determination is.
But as far as the construction of the, the dock and the ramp, it seems fine as long as it's off the property line by more than 10 feet.
Decking, correct?
With the decking, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, they did have a conservation board wetlands permit for they're redoing the house, near plan.
So they're already aware of the whole scenario.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you're just asking a general question.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so, what, you're just gonna contact the conservation board, just?
Well-
Send a request over to them and
Yes.
wait for them to give us an advisory.
Okay,
But the activity that you have before us is totally in our jurisdiction.
Yeah, no, I'm
It's in our
getting more an
jurisdiction.
idea of like the whole.
It's
So
in our
we're not-
jurisdiction, but you might as well wait until you get all the
Yeah.
other entities.
But just for the record, we're not doing anything in that upland area, right?
Well, no, it goes over.
Yeah, there's
So
a
you're coming across the whole thing?
Yeah,
There's-
But it
yeah,
attaches
there's
to a
a
bulkhead.
path, there's a path through the upland, because the conservation board implemented a buffer areas, there's a path through that.
Do they have in that
If the mean high
language?
water was up by where the wetlands, then you wouldn't need an advisory letter, but
Yeah.
we don't see we see the mean high water at the bulkhead, so you're going across in an area that's above the bulkhead.
I understand.
And you're working with
Might
them,
not be in our jurisdiction.
right? What do
That's why
they
we're
have to you?
Yeah,
You're
we didn't, our office didn't obtain the conservation board wetland permit?
Oh, somebody else did.
Right,
Did your office review the language in that?
well, I just looked at it as far as what was required for the buffer area. It's 4 foot wide.
You didn't
not
see
the
what,
width,
you don't, okay.
And it's in the spot that they.
Yeah, I mean, if they're already in correspondence with the Encom board, you might as well just get the language of it.
Yeah,
I mean, you're
Yeah.
already, somebody's already shaking and moving with them, obviously, if they're doing a rebuild on a house, so the language is already there.
I'll ask them, I'll see if I
Because
get a copy of it and see
yeah,
what it says.
because we don't want to do something that's conflicting with what they had already
Right,
worked out. We want to make sure that there's proper language in whatever determination was made at that point in time, so that our project doesn't.
right. Conflict with
Yeah.
their,
Yeah, we want it to all work.
So we still, what do we?
Well, we're gonna send an advisory, right? We're gonna request an advisory, that way we get to the bottom of it before we
Okay, yeah,
advance
and
it.
I have the permit, I think I can get hold of the permit, look at the language and, contact James and Matt. and let
Right.
them know.
We'll keep the
Okay.
conversation going, that way it all works synergistically.
Yes, makes total sense.
Okay.
I understand. Thank you very much.
Yep.
Have a great holiday.
You too.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, there's probably some language there that we have
That's
to
why I
review.
want, let them do the review and
So that's on,
we'll put it all together.
that's on hold. So now we have the general permit applications for determination, the final stamp plans. Ready for that, James?
Yep.
You got 33 Canoe Place Road. Trustee Warner, Richard Peters.
We went through this at work session, I believe, we were just waiting on the stamp
Stamp
plans,
plans,
right?
yes, that would be it.
And they are stamped, received.
All matches
Okay.
up,
All right, so
advance
to
it.
advance it.
And then, Chip, you have a couple here. First one
We
from
got,
Q.
3991, which was adjacent to 3955, the, two, bulkhead applications where they modified the existing dock to be in compliance with the Blue Book and also, created more buffer zones than was there previously, so, everything's stamped,
Yes.
yeah, so advance it.
And here's 95.
Also. And then we got Captain's Neck Realty LLC, 519 Captain's Neck Lane, Village of Southampton.
With stamp plans and everything, so this should be
Yes.
able to advance.
Good?
Yep.
And then Trustee Parsons has Andrew Perel, it was the first modification of 19 Seatuck Lane in Remsenburg.
Had this 2 weeks ago.
Right, so this is a stamp plan review.
Right.
Sorry, I just exited it by accident.
You exited?
19 Seatuck.
Take care now.
Take care.
That's the old one, sorry. Alright. This shows the retaining wall that was added at the last meeting. Stamped, good to go.
Cool. That's it.
Okay. All right, so that takes care of the stamp plan reviews. Let's move right over to the waterfowl hunting location permit application for determination. I see Shakira is here. Hello there.
Hello, how are you guys?
Good.
Thank you.
A field trip for you today.
Yes,
Huh?
such an adventure to try to park and everything.
Such an adventure. Always an adventure at the Board of Trustees.
Next one we have is permit number 79, William Miller. He had a late submission with an excuse
All right.
letter.
Read that for the record.
So it was delayed because he was the fisherman was offshore and was at sea during the application time with no service.
Okay.
I did speak to him on the phone about this issue.
Okay.
That boat doesn't sleep, the one that they were trying to move. And he was off.
Well, we'll give him this time, but we're going to note the file,
Yes.
right? So we can't always do this, but we're going to give him a pass this time. Okay?
Next one, we have permit number 98, Brian Simmons. He's an expired, non-renewed, and returned to waitlist.
So these are ones that we didn't hear back
We didn't
from.
hear
They
back
never,
from.
after reaching out multiple times,
They
they
go to the wait
never,
list.
they never responded to
I'd
any.
say they take him back to the wait list.
Okay.
You good with that?
Yeah, I mean, I've contacted a few people in my areas and, and they were supposed to get back with the proper documentation. If they
Well-
haven't, well then, you know, it's, yeah.
One of them doesn't look like that's going to happen. The other one, it hasn't happened.
Yeah.
So therefore, back to the wait list.
Yeah, they're both going,
And so it's Brian Simmons and Jeremy Allen. It's the same. We had no renewal and no explanation.
I say there's no more talking about it. They're back to the wait list.
Can I just ask, beyond, like, cause I know you sent us like contacts of people to call, and you guys, the office has also called them?
We call them and
That's
we
so-
email them and everything.
Back to the wait
So I
list.
mean, between a trustee and the office calling and a letter going out? Okay. I just wanted a clarification on that. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't the only one that was calling.
We're,
Yeah,
we're,
okay,
we're
great.
moving on.
Thank you.
and to this day, we have no correspondence back
No.
from them, you
No.
know, proper documentation, so.
I'll say it again. Next.
Next, all right. So then we have the Donald Bennett's, so permit number 2, 11, 20, and 26, and 27. They did renew their blind, but they're unable to hunt it due to medical reasons. I have their letter as well.
And I did have a conversation with the father, senior. Both him, Donnie, and the grandson are all had operations, so they're not able to get their hunting places in order. So I asked him to send a letter in and give us correspondence, so he read it.
Sure. So due to current medical crisis that Don Bennett Jr., Don Bennett III, Don Bennett Sr. are experiencing, we are unable to do our duck blinds this duck hunting season. We would appreciate if you could excuse us from this responsibility.
I mean, they've had them for.
Yeah, that's going some for the Bennett's not to be hunting. They must be sick.
No, they are. I had a long conversation. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
I want to elaborate, but yeah.
Advance it.
Yep.
Wish him the best.
Then you have some more here, right?
Some more of the expired blinds.
You have Gregory Liffin and you have Bruce Cooper also have not responded,
And they had NOVs in the past.
so they should go back to the wait list. So you have NOVs in the past and you have nobody communicating.
Yep.
No.
I'd say back to the wait list. Okay?
And then the same for blind number 233 and 233 Kirk Dosh and 246 William Altman.
Not responding to
Not
the
responding.
office, not responding to the trustee, back to the wait list, right?
Yes. And the last one is permit number 182, Steven Zalowski. Same thing, expired, non-renewed.
Not getting back to you either. Okay,
I spoke to him, he was gonna make a move on it, that's why I was asking, but
it didn't happen.
multiple.
So you
multiple
spoke to him
reach outs,
and the office spoke to him. And it's been, you good? Okay. So you got a bunch going back to the wait list. And you have some that have, acceptable excuses. And that concludes our work session agenda. We do have executive sessions coming up today. So I don't know if there's any need on the work session agenda for us to, discuss, because I know there's a lot that we have to discuss in executive. So we have folks that are showing, we have counsel that's going to be here. I think what we could do is adjourn, go into exec, take care of what we have to take care of, and then perfect timing for our other additional counsel to get here, and then move on from there for an efficient day.
Sounds
With
good
that,
to me.
so I'll make a motion to adjourn the work session,
Second it.
seconded by Trustee Marin, and we're going to go into exec session for the purposes of discussing litigation. We have it all in favor?
All in favor?
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
See everybody at the general session. Meeting is closed.